Hello folks, Johnny Bag of Donuts here. It's Friday, so that means I'm doing a cheap good game review today from Steam. And there was a lot of debate about what I was going to do today, and after talking to some of my colleagues, speaking to my wife, different people who opinions that, I hold dear, I decided to make the cutoff point for games I review $20 and under. So any game that's $19.95 or $20 and under can qualify for these reviews. And today, the game that I'm going to be reviewing is right at that mark. It's H1Z1 King of the Kill. It is an alpha game. It's $19.99 on Steam right now. All the links will be down in the description below. And you see the footage of it going on behind me. I played it for several hours. I have a bunch of issues with it. Now, I will say this will be my first negative review this is only my third review, but it will be my first negative review. The first two were fairly positive. They were pretty good games. I really don't have a whole lot of nice to say about this game after 8 hours of playing it and messing around and capturing footage for it. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to do all the negative stuff first, guys, and then the positive afterwards, because I like to end on a positive note. I don't like to be, negative Nancy at the end, because then, you leave with all the negative vibes. That shit's not cool. So here we go. Let's do the cons first. The game runs like crap. It is extremely poorly optimized. It's the first game since building my new rig, which is the fastest i7 I can get, 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte SSD, a 1080 GTX card. I have a beast of a machine that has not had any problems at all. It's the first game since putting this machine together 3 or 4 months ago that I actually had a problem with the performance of it. Installing it was fine. That worked just fine. Getting all the settings set for the performance, for the capture software to work, it was a nightmare, dude. I had to restart the game 8 or 9 times. It ran like crap. Then my capture software ran like crap, and I switched between OBS and Morillus. I used both of them to try and see. They both had the same problem with the game. It was running like garbage. So eventually a streamer friend of mine named Nolly D said, hey, use these settings. This is what I use to stream it, because there's a whole bunch of Twitch integration with this game. That seems to have been their major marketing push, is for Twitch, is for streamers to play the game. That's how this game has kind of gotten semi-famous, etc., etc. So after 2 to 3 hours of messing with the settings, I finally got good settings. So it finally started running good. The game wasn't great. The graphics are horrible. I had to run it at a lower resolution on lower settings, even though I have a beast of a machine, just to get it to run well enough to capture some footage. And the guys who stream it say that they have to do the same thing to stream it, so that's kind of just the way it goes. So the game is extremely poorly optimized. Number 2, the game can only run in full screen mode. And for anyone streaming, capturing software, doing any of that, this is extremely annoying that you can't switch it into windowed mode, because then you have to do a monitor/full screen capture instead of a game capture or window capture. Otherwise, you can't actually capture any footage or stream it or whatever you're doing. So the fact that they omitted any mode except for full screen is just lazy. And I get it. I know what you're thinking. Oh, but Johnny Bag of Donuts, the game's in alpha, brother. It's, it's early access game. I hear you, and it is, and they shoot that disclaimer at you huge, and it's in your face, and I get it. It's an early access game, but if you only have full screen mode, why the fuck is your game on Steam? That's all I'm saying. There should be minimums of quality to where you're allowed to sell things, and there aren't. I get it. That's Steam. That's why I'm making these reviews for people, because there's so much crap on Steam. There's a lot of positive. So anyway, full screen mode only, huge negative, especially for someone like me who captures, and does things like that. The settings only half work. Some of the settings don't work. There's a bunch of settings in the options menu that you'll see when you play the game. Shaders, this, that, it's the other thing. I messed with the options for a good hour trying to get the game to run better, and only a small portion of the options actually take effect. They only seem, all the other ones don't seem to do anything. The game is just what it is, and the settings really don't work. And I get it. It's an early access game. You're going to hear that so many times. In the course of looking things up, it's not even funny. Just Googling shit to how to fix this problem, everyone in the threads was championing this dev house, saying, oh, it's early access, it's early access, it's early. I saw that so many times in the past 2 days reviewing this game, it's not even funny. So there you go. Graphics look like something from 2008. Like, I'm not even kidding. You're seeing the footage behind me. Like, you can see it. That is the absolute best footage I can capture with a ridiculous, beefy computer. I mean, that's it, dude. That's it. The graphics are horrible. They're really bad. And what the pros do, apparently the pros, the Twitch streamers that play this a lot, they, on the fly with hotkeys, change their view distance because of how bad the graphics are and how bad the game runs. So the pros have a hotkey bound to their keyboard or to one of their macro keys that switches the view distance from very far to very close because of how bad the game runs. I mean, woohoo! Alarm bells are ringing, Cindy. Woo! You know what I mean? Hey, crazy eyes, because that shit's crazy. So the game is hard to capture. Here's another con. It was, and I already said this, and that's in my list of cons. But anyway, it is an extremely hard game to do. Once it's set up, once you have everything going, and you're doing a monitor capture, and there's all this plethora of stuff that I ran into problems that was only from this game. Never had any problems like that with other games, especially with the two different pieces of software I use. OBS, which is free, and Marillus, which is a paid piece of software. Very nice capture software, by the way. No, they did not pay me to say that. It was bad. And then once, the last big con that I have, once I actually got into the game systems themselves are horrible. None of it seems to make any sense. Like, we're in this little starting area, which is like a lobby, staging area, and all the guys I was playing with were like, oh my god, take your hat off, take your shoes off, take your shirt off, shred it all, so you can make first aid kit bandages. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. How would me ripping my shirt heal me? And they're like, dude, look, just do it. And they walked me through three or four other points, and it just, none of it made any sense. Like, and the fact that I had to access that stuff in my inventory, which took a while, in a very fast-paced shooter, you're dead before you can even bandage unless you bound to a hotkey, which I later did. But I mean, the games just didn't make any sense to me. Like, we parachute in, for whatever reason, we're up in the sky after we're in this prison, and then you land, and you look for stuff. And it's not even like a survival game where you're looking for stuff or building things. Like, there's just guns and ammo strewn all over the city for no apparent reason whatsoever. Which I get it. It's not supposed to be realistic. It just makes for a fun game. But none of it made any sense to me. So the whole time I was playing it, I was like, what? I mean, even from a comic book fanboy perspective, and one of my favorite games in the whole world's Warframe, that is like, Space Ninjas, it's fantastical, it's whimsical. I was still like, what? Like, and I'm a video game nerd, dude, and the whole time I was just like, none of this makes any sense. So I really didn't like that at all about it. I really didn't. Guys, formulate your own opinions. And like I said, I don't want to speak about all the bad. So there's all the bad things. And I'm going to add price into the con list. Because $20 piece of crap that barely runs, that the graphics on my cell phone are better than, I think it's outrageous. So I'm going to put price in the list of cons. And to end this review on a more happy note, the pros of the game. It's an extremely fun game to play. The gameplay is very satisfying. I mean, once you get into the game and you're running around, you find your weapons, you rip off your shirt, you make your bandages, and you're in your team of 2, 3, or 4 guys, and you're gunning other people down, you're hiding in toilets just to get the first shot. Like, all that is really fun. It's very intense feeling. I see why the streaming community really likes it, because it is, that sense of mortality. Like, I get hit, I'm going to die. I need to make sure I'm not getting hit, or I'm in the best possible scenario for an attack. The gameplay is very fun. And because of that, they do a bunch of competitions, the way the game's designed, for like a PvP competitive environment. So that is the second pro. The second positive is it's a very competitive game, and the environment, the game systems are all set up to be competitive. It's all driven around Twitch. I mean, there's so much Twitch integration. They made this game particularly for streamers, it seems, because they push that in your face all the time. Every menu, it's like Twitch. I don't Twitch, although I do have a Twitch, and it's down in my description there if y'all want to follow me, but I don't really Twitch that much. I'm thinking about adding it into the mix or doing it on YouTube, but I don't. So to me, like, you're logging into a game where it's just Twitch everything in your face it is a pro. That's why I'm listing it in the positives, but it's also a negative because I'm like, hey, I'm not a streamer, don't care. Hey, I'm not a streamer, don't care. So it's a very streamer-oriented game, which is one of the pros. So the final verdict, after 8 hours of messing with this and looking at the capture footage, and you can see the footage behind me, you know, formulate your own opinion on what you think, but I give it a 2 donuts out of 10. That is a 2 out of 10, folks, for this game. It's the first negative review I've done. I feel kind of bad about it, but this game is a pile of shit. It really is. And having said that, in its current state, it's a fun game to play. It's an unpolished turd. In the future, I really hope the devs fix all these issues and that they polish it up. But right now, it is a 2 out of 10. Final verdict is do not waste your $20 on this until they fix all the shit. So until there is an actual release candidate, until it's out of alpha, and even out of beta, I would not waste your money on this game. Yes, it's fun. Yes, I had a couple good laughs. Overall, the experience was really, really bad. So there you go, guys. Another week, another review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.